Namaskar, Abhar, Abhinandan. How are you friends? How is FIFA fever going on? FIFA fever, good. Smarnika, hello, hi. चीजें मस्त हैं, बढ़िया हैं. Things are good, things are fine. Till where things should be. Right? So today's topic that we are going to discuss is something, the topic which most of us don't feel like studying, Pteridophytes and Gymnosperms. And when I say Pteridophyte and Gymnosperm, the most important thing that you should always remember, these are the plants which are connecting link towards the higher plants. By default, they are higher plants, but true higher plants, they move to. Sir, what is common in both? Both have embryo in them. So, as both have embryo in them, it is called as embryophyta. Good, I liked it. Today people are in time. I am happy. So, main plant body here, if I talk in both the cases, there is clear cut root, stem and leaf differentiation. Unlike in case of what we have done in case of bryophytes or in algae. In general, when I say root, stem and leaf is very clear, yes. The unique thing is, first time they have vasculature, vascular bundle. How can we miss your class, sir? By not attending it. It's as simple as it is. Good, I liked it. Okay, good. See, I take the things in a lighter way. I assume my students also take the things in a lighter way. Okay. So, when I say this Pteridophytes and Gymnosperms, the first vascular land plants are Pteridophytes. They are the first vascular land plants. When I say first vascular land plants, they are the Pteridophytes. So, I will just focus for 10 minutes on Pteridophytes, 15-20 minutes for Gymnosperms. In between, I will tell you some interesting stories also. When I say first vascular land plants, do remember they are the Pteridophytes. And here, roots are not there, rhizoids are not there. These rhizoids are modified into ginger-like structure, shunti-like structure called as rhizome. The underground structure is rhizome. Now the concept comes here. Very commonly this question was asked in CPMT, Combined Pre-Medical Test of Uttar Pradesh. If forest fire happens, jungle में आग लग जाती है, which plants will grow first? Actually this question what I am asking you was not this question. Question was asked in assertion and reason, in which assertion and reason both were correct and reason was the correct explanation of assertion. So question was something कि when forest fire happens, which plants will grow first? This question to you people also. And reason was given, what might be the reason कि why they grow first? So answer is, Pteridophytes will be the first plants after forest fires to grow, because as rainfall happens, these rhizoids which are under the soil, which have not gone under any effect, that will be absorbed, that will absorb water, and once they absorb water, will proliferate into a new plant. That is the reason that Pteridophytes are the answers. And when I say Pteridophytes, Pterido means large leaf like. That is the reason Pteridophytes are called as ferns. Like when we say bryophyte, we call it as moss. Pteridophytes are ferns. And in a very simplified version, technically, commonly, profusely, specifically, whatever term you want to say, all the ferns are used for ornamentation, or technically pteridophytes are basically used for ornamental purpose. Now, when I say first vascular land plants, very commonly we study this example called as Rhynia. Rhynia is the fossil pteridophyte. Rhynia is a fossil pteridophyte. And when I say Rhynia is a fossil pteridophyte, do understand, the story goes before that. Okay, sir, and this is a living fossil, which is very much today also. Like cockroach is a living fossil. Yeah, it is almost some 200 years old, 2000 years old. It was very much there, and today also it is there. Living fossil, Rhynia. Sir, which is the first true fossil pteridophyte? True fossil. It is Coxonia. Names are very good. I don't know, I like these names. So I just want to tell you people also should learn it. Coxonia. Right? This is the fossil pteridophyte. From here, when I say first vascular land plants, so when you say first vascular land plants, they should have vascular bundles. They should have a true root, stem and leaf. And they have a complete orientation. And when I say they have a complete orientation by itself, the most important thing is they are the cryptogames, last cryptogames, because phanerogames will start from here, seed. Here it is not seed. So they are non-seed. Very important. Cryptogames, non-seed, vascular, complete differentiation of root, stem and leaf, non-thallus. They are embryophytes. So you think it over, these are all are the characteristic features of pteridophytes. More importantly, when we move from here, do remember all the pteridophytes, all the gymnosperms, there are exceptions that we should not scratch because exceptions are not examples, and whenever a general statement is asked, you should not take exceptions into consideration. Pteridophytes and gymnosperm, this sentence what I am telling you now, instead of plus, and they do not have vessels. When I say vessels, you know there are two structures, xylem and phloem. Whenever I say vascular bundle, there are two structures, xylem and phloem. Xylem is responsible for transportation of water. Xylem is responsible for transportation of water. Phloem is responsible for transportation of food. Xylem transports water from the root to the top of the plant. Phloem transports food from the leaves to other parts of the bodies. Right? So, pteridophyte gymnosperms, they do not have vessels. And once they do not have vessels in case of xylem, in phloem, they don't have companion cell. In anatomy, I will tell you in detail what xylem contains, what phloem contains. Xylem contains 4 things, phloem contains 4 things. Sir, the 4 things that xylem contains, one is vessels, next is tracheids, xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber. Same thing, phloem contains 4 things, sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. Not visible, sir. Sir is very much visible, na yaar. I am not microscopic, bhai. If I am not visible, okay, you want I should write, yeah, Ganesh, you were complaining yesterday also. Okay, I will try to write big, big, big. Okay. Now, so try to bear right now, whatever there on the board right now, from ahead I will just take care. Xylem contains vessels, tracheids, xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber. Phloem contains sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fiber and phloem parenchyma. And when I say vessels are absent in pteridophyte gymnosperms, do remember from the phloem, companion cells are absent. So I will not use red color now. I am not mistaking Ganesh. I take the things in lighter way, man. You don't take it to the heart. I believe in fun, please. Okay. You don't take it to heart, man. Now, moving from here, next concept comes, sir, these xylem and phloem or pteridophytes. The unique thing about vascular bundle, when I say, let me tell you, throw some light on these pteridophytes. These pteridophytes have vascular bundles, as I told you, first vascular land plants, and when you say vascular bundles are there, based on presence of vasculature, these pteridophytes are divided into 4 groups: Xylophyta, or more than Xylophyta, you let us write in a different 4 classes: Xylopsida, Lycopsida, Pteropsida and Sphenopsida. Like yesterday I told you, in case of bryophytes, they have 3 groups: Hepaticopsida, Anthoceratopsida and Masai. Same way here they have 4 groups: Xylopsida, Lycopsida, Pteropsida, Sphenopsida. And Sphenopsida are only true ferns. They are only true ferns. And when I say they are the true ferns, others are like that. For example, Xylopsida usually contains most of the fossils. Lycopsida is named because of Lycopodium. This group is a pteridophyte or a fern which has maximum medicinal properties. When I say medicinal properties, do remember this group of plants or this group of pteridophytes, they are exclusively used in Ayurveda. Used in Ayurveda. Pteropsida, Sphenopsida, there, and here there are certain interesting examples are there which you should always remember, like Equisetum. If you see this plant, it looks like a tail of a horse, so it is called as horsetail. This you know. But one thing I am going to tell you that you don't know, this question was asked in 2003 or 2002, again in Bharati Vidyapeeth, BVP. Which pteridophyte is an indicator of gold? How much weightage you give to this topic for NEET, sir? Something interesting question. It is like asking, sir, how much you will give weightage for 1 drop of water in your entire body? It depends how much thirsty you are. If you know, this topic is very important. If you don't know, this topic is otherwise. Yes, I told all the plant groups. When I say all the plant groups, algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperms and angiosperms total bring about somewhere, if I assume to be 100 questions, 12 to 15%. Let me make it that way, it will be easy. 12 to 15 questions out of 100. So when you say 15% to 12%, you calculate for 90 how much it is. It may be some 10 to 12 questions, and 10 questions are very big questions. How much this both? Yes, 100% out of 12 questions, 1 or 2 questions will be from here. 100%. And every year by default you get it. Equisetum is horsetail, and as I told you, it is gold indicator. Lycopodium I told you, and here I want to tell you, Lycopodium is club moss. Again you see, in a fern this is a moss, because habit is like that. Otherwise it is not a true moss again. Now, here do remember, as and when it comes I will tell you, Pteris and Dryopteris. These are called as shield ferns. There is a fern which is called as tree fern. It is the largest pteridophyte. Don't write Sathya. It is not Sathya. It is Cyathea. Cyathea is a tree fern. Now, this is something general. I want to add to you here something very interesting. Ki, sir, in pteridophytes, first time vascular system came, and we did not use the term vascular system, we called that term as stellar system. When I say stellar systems, are who gave the concept of steel? Don't be scared, you should be only afraid of yourself. If you remember your friend's name, father's name, mother's name, this is much easier. So don't be tensed. It's all easy, man. Ganesh. Steel is what, sir? Anything which is surrounding the vascular bundle, or in a simple way, vascular bundle plus surrounding is called as steel. Vascular bundle and surroundings is called as steel. For example, if you might have seen the anatomy, this is endodermis. Inside the endodermis, this is pericycle. Inside the pericycle is xylem and phloem. Xylem is usually inside, phloem is outside. Simple. And when I say this, the center is pith. This structure is called as steel. And first time concept of steel was given by, again Ganesh, Von Teigman and Duliet. Van Teigman and Duliet. They were the two scientists who gave a concept of stellar system. So this steel, very simple way, if xylem is inside, surrounded by phloem, this is the most primitive type of steel, or the first steel, it is called as proto-steel. From here things go. If there is a hole in between or leaf traces is there, as and when it comes, it is also called as siphono-steel, U-steel. Examples. If phloem is there, xylem is present like a star, it is called as actino-steel. Actino means a star. If entire, this is phloem, this is xylem. If phloem is like this, xylem is in the patches, this is called as atactino-steel. So as and when it comes, their names are there. But do remember Von Teigman and Duliet, most primitive is proto-steel, and usually steels are technically defined with respect to xylem and phloem interactions only. Right? Now, if you see a pteridophytes, as entire business is dependent on the leaf, there are two different types of leaf. A small leaf is called as Microsporophyll, bigger one is called as Megasporophyll. Microsporophyll, Megasporophyll, they proliferate, they germinate, they enjoy the business, and these pteridophytes by default by default give rise to megaspores. It's like that only. Megasporophyll. Phyll means leaf. Megasporophyll gives rise to megaspores. Microsporophyll gives rise to microspores. They fuse to give rise to zygote. Zygote develops into embryo. Again, embryo either gives rise to male plant or female plant. And they again give rise to microsporophyll or megasporophyll. And interesting thing is, when I say phyll, leaf, on the surface of the leaves, lower side, suppose this is the leaf, on the lower side. Yeah, I'll come back to it, Shubham. Good question. Why pteridophytes are called as reptiles of plant kingdoms? Yes. Lower side, there are very small spore bearing structures called as soras or sori. Inside they have sori, there are the spores. They get fantastic things, moisture and all, nourishment and all, they proliferate, multiply. As Shubham's question is, why pteridophytes are called as reptiles of plant kingdom? Because they creep very fast, because sunlight does not reach. Sunlight does not reach. They are the creepers of the forest. They are the serpents of the forest. They run very fast. Because of rhizome, they run very fast. They grow very fast. Shunti, adrak, it grows very fast. And first vascular land plant, rainfall, all that is accepted. It's like when you get a new gun or new toy, you enjoy it. You get a new shoes. What is your feeling? The first time they are getting the land habit. So they want to run, and when they run, that's the reason they are called as creepers or the snakes of the plant kingdom, right? So here there is one more very classical example, that is Selaginella. In Selaginella, do remember the most important concept here is when entire development happens, microsporophyll and all, from microspores, these microspores grow onto the male reproductive structure, anthrozoid, and yesterday I told you female structure, archegonium. From here male gamete will come, from here female gamete will come. In Selaginella, very important structure. These, before I go, these spores, they develop into a large leaf-like structure. This large leaf-like structure is called as prothallus. That's what and on this prothallus only these structures grow, anthrozoids and archegonium. And once they grow, usually male structure will be here, female will be here. And once they grow, sir, this male, same fertilization happens, very important, fertilization happens, zygote formation happens, everything is there, which I told in a nutshell. This Selaginella, the male gametophyte is 13-celled stage. That is very important, try to understand it. Other things you don't remember. Selaginella, it is 13-celled stage where proliferation happens, right? And at this stage, Anthridium, Archegonium, they fuse, and for fertilization, in case of all the pteridophytes, immaterial of the exception, in case of pteridophytes, malic acid is used, or when I say used, malic acid is needed for fertilization. In general, you might have heard in plants usually water is needed for fertilization or air is needed for fertilization. Pteridophytes are the group of organisms in which malic acid is used for fertilization. Right? Contest time. Before that, yesterday's question, most of you, few of you, some of you have done wrong. question was club moss, peat moss, reindeer moss and Irish moss, which of them is a true moss? And I told in my class also, I don't know why it was missed, peat moss, that is sphagnum, is a true moss. Otherwise, reindeer moss is a lichen. If you might have seen reindeer moss yesterday, I told you, that is cladonia. Another thing I told, Irish moss. Irish moss is an algae, please. Irish moss is an algae, that is Chondrus crispus. Chondrus is an algae which is an Irish moss, right? Now coming to the question for the day. You will have only 30 seconds. It is on your screen now. And the question is, Selaginella, that is Sanjeevani booty, which was used to cure Lakshman in Ramayana, is a pteridophyte. Name it. Ten, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please try to attempt the answers. And before I forget, yesterday's contest question answer, as usual, Ashwini Sharma is the winner. And one atom session he gets. And the question was, what is a fossil bryophyte? Fossil bryophyte is, I told you it is a very nice name, Neandita. Neandita is fossil bryophyte, right? So, pteridophytes, as I told you, they are exclusively used for ornamental purpose. And in pteridophytes, last thing, you should always remember there are 3 terms. That is, and they will trouble you everywhere. Right? Apogamy, apospory and polyembryony. And more than polyembryony, this is this. These 3 are the characteristic features which are first time seen in case of pteridophytes. See here, try to understand, it's very simple way. People get confused. Sir, apospory, apogamy and all. Whatever is written, go to the reverse way. Gamy, development of a sporophyte. Apospory means development of gametophyte. So what is written there, that is important. Gamy is opposite, development of a sporophyte from gametophyte. Here it will be from sporophyte. Development of a sporophyte from the gametophyte and development of gametophyte from the sporophyte without fertilization. Without fertilization. Development of a sporophyte from the gametophyte without fertilization is called as apogamy. Development of gametophyte from the sporophyte without fertilization is called as apospory. Apogamy and apospory, do remember, this apogamy was coined by the term, apogamy term was coined by anybody? Yesterday I used this term actually when I was teaching lichens. D. Berry. He is the same person who gave the term okay. People started giving the answers. I am happy. And Heterospory, it is Drury. Sir, then what is parthenogenesis? Parthenogenesis is a very simple concept. This is also development of sporophyte. Again, development of sporophyte from the egg without fertilization. Here it is from the egg, here it is from the sporophyte, here it is from the gametophyte. In all the three cases, one thing is common, that is fertilization is absent. Right? Now, no Suraj, it's not Winkler. Winkler I did not tell only yesterday, and Winkler has nothing to do here. Winkler comes to true plant embryology, right? So, this is enough if you understand in the name of pteridophytes, apogamy, Heterospory and parthenogenesis. Now moving to the second part, which is a brother of pteridophytes in many ways, which I started already, that is Gymnosperms. At least I am happy people tried today giving answers. Till yesterday nobody was giving answers only for the contest questions. So I am oversaturated with the, what you call it as, my atom sessions to myself. It is like I have to watch my own movie. I am director, I am actor, I am everything. Okay. Now coming to gymno. Gymno means naked, sperm means seed. A plant with naked seeds. When I say naked seeds means it does not have fruit wall. No fruits, only seeds are there. Like you might have seen in apple and all, when you eat the fruit inside you see the seed. In case of gymnosperms, you don't find that. Gymnosperms are usually found in dry, deserty conditions. And this, in this case, what you call it as in gymnosperms, only questions will be asked are economic importance. Economic importance, try to understand it. When I say this, economic importance, this entire gymnosperm is divided into three classes. Cycadales into three orders, coniferales and neetales. Cycadales includes cycas. Coniferales includes pinus. Neetales includes neetum. Wistia. As I told you, economic importance is their ephedra. Now, sir, gymnosperms have something very unique, as you might have seen all these cycas plants and all below. This is the root, proper true roots are there, not like rhizoids and all. And they have something called as circinate venation. Right? Here, in case of cycadales, cycas, one species is there called as Cycas revoluta, which is called as sagopam. You might have seen in fastings and all, you eat sabudana, subuki. In Kannada, you call it as subuki. That is actually Cycas revoluta, the seeds of it. Conifers, very strong wood, pinus, which is also called as cheerwood. And one of the costliest dry fruit is obtained from pinus, that is Pinus gerardiana. Pinus gerardiana, cheerwood. Neetum, Wistia, ephedra, by itself they are great. Ephedra is used to obtain an eye drop, which is an vasodilator. When you go to doctors, an ophthalmologist or eye specialist, before testing, they put an eye drop that dilates your pupil. You get a blur image. It is obtained from ephedra, named as ephedrine. It is a vasodilator. About Wistia, I will tell you, it's something very beautiful. It is not found in India. If somebody says Wistia is found in New Zealand, whole life it has only 2 leaves. That's it. Plant is done. Only 2 leaves. I don't know, I made 4. Only 2 leaves. Whole life. Most beautiful gymnosperm. Yeah, correct, Ganesh. That is Chilgoza. Pinus gerardiana. Yes, that is Chilgoza. Pinus has something very interesting also. Pinus has 2 different type of leaves. One is called as big leaves, one is called small leaves. Small leaves are called as needle. Big leaves are normal, macrophyll, needles. Now, and as I was telling in Gymnosperms about cycas, it has below the root, near the roots, like this. This is called as cercinate venation. Means in which they have a spiral concept. That is called as cercinate venation. Now, ephedra, neetum, Wistia. Sir, as I told you, these neetum, Wistia, ephedra, they are very close to angiosperms. Very particularly, neetum is very close to angiosperms. That's why I told you when I wrote earlier, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperm move towards the land plants, right? So let me tell you about certain unique thing about particularly cycas. Cycas has the largest ovule, largest seed, and largest sperm. When I say seed, try to understand largest egg in entire plant kingdom. Largest ovule, largest sperm, largest egg in entire plant kingdom. Same, I don't know how many times this question again has been asked in various competitive examinations. Right? Now, moving from here. Cycas revoluta, I told you for food. Chilgoza, I told you. Pinus, cheerwood, as I told you, it is used in furnitures. If you go to the Himalayan or hilly areas where trains, their berth, they are not made up of iron, like you might have seen any other trains, it is made up of metal. But in hilly areas, it is not made up of metals, it is made up of wood. And that wood is from cheerwood, right? I'll tell you certain other examples. For example, juniperus. You might have seen pencil. Now you are using pen and all. Pencil. The wood of a pencil is obtained from juniperus. The pencil, whether it is Apsara or Nataraj, whatever, they usually make it from juniperus. Other it is a mango and all, you cannot sharpen with the sharpeners. It is juniperus. In your labs, you might be making your slides. Take a slide, put a cover slip. In your schools, they might put a glycerine. But to make it permanent slide, which cannot be mounted, which cannot be removed, they use Canada balsam. Canada balsam is obtained from Abies balsamea, a glue-like substance that is obtained from Abies balsamea, Canada balsam. Juniperus communis. You are telling you are getting scared with the names, and fantastically you are telling me the names, Ganesh. You are a black knight, man. Chupa Rustam hai tum. Now, juniperus, Canada balsam, neetum, Wistia, ephedra. You might have seen Abrus tinctorius. I don't know how many of you remember, or I'm sure your generation doesn't know also. When you go to goldsmith and all and ask him to weigh the gold and all, now you have metal bars. Earlier, a seed was used, it is called as ratti. That ratti seed is obtained, or the seed of ratti is Abrus tinctorius. Abrus is ratti. That's why 10 ratti is equal to 1 tola. That's how the gold is being weighed. Ratti ratti shobha ratti hai gambhir ki. That's the very famous lines are there. Ratti is a sign of beauty. Wife of Kamdev, Rati. Right? Now, this is somewhere we have to talk about gymnosperms. Nothing more is there to talk about. You have to only talk about economic importance here, characteristic features. And I'll take back little now again to pteridophytes. Why? Because sir, you are telling about food formation and all, but you are not told about seed. Do remember I told you seed formation was not there in pteridophytes. In pteridophytes, one was vascular bundles and another was seed habit. Please do remember, in case of pteridophytes, seed habit was there, seed formation was not there. And why that seed habit came? Because they have two different type of spores, bigger and smaller. Smaller is called as microspore, bigger one is called as macrospores. Sometimes both the spores were same, that is called as homosporous. Heterospory, that is seed habit, and this seed habit is the basis how gymnosperms have evolved. When I say this, kisses seed habit, do all pteridophytes show heterospory? No. Only 8 genus, only 8 plants are there, genus, not plants particularly, 8 genus are there which show heterospory, and you don't have to remember all the 8, I'll just write few names. Actually the formula is this, Sismopersa. This is the first alphabet of all the 8, S-I, S-M, P-R, S-A. Sismopersa is the concept of heterospory. All other pteridophytes have homospory. These are the 8 plants which have heterospory, in which you don't have to remember all, few of you remember. This I is Isoites, commonly called as quillwort. Again, I don't know how many times this match the following is asked. Quillwort is pteridophyte. Selaginella, Marsilia, Salvinia, Isola. You may be telling, sir, when you have told 5, tell the remaining 3 also. I can tell you all 3, but these 5 are very important. R is Reginalidium, P is Pinguiculum, and this is Seleucides. So you don't have to remember all that. Yeah, I know, don't think sir doesn't know, so sir is skipping. Okay, little I know, man. Isoites, Selaginella, Marsilia, Salvinia and Isola. About Salvinia and Isola, I have to tell you, all of them have been asked as assertion and reason. These are aquatic pteridophytes. And when I say they are aquatic pteridophytes, they are very prominent biofertilizers. Sir, why they are biofertilizers? Because in the leaves of Isola, there is a symbiotic association of Anabina. There is symbiotic association of Anabina. And because of symbiotic association of Anabina and Isola, it acts as a biofertilizer. And that's the reason this Isola is thrown in your agriculture fields. Sown in agriculture fields. Now, when here this symbiotic association has come, again I will go back to Cycas. Cycas has two types of roots because pteridophyte and gymnosperms go hand to hand. So it's very tough for me to say, sir, how you will differentiate your cousin brother from your own brother. By default, they are same. When I say they are same, sir, you are genius. My college teachers not teaches without book in her hand. She is her, I am he. Difference is there, man. Gender biased. Good, thank you, man. I take it. बच्चे भगवान होते हैं. I am here just because of you people. You people are keeping me, I am here. Otherwise, I am nowhere. Cycas has two type of roots. One is called as normal roots. Another is called as coralloid roots. Normal roots, as other roots are there, positively geotropic, negatively phototropic, positively hydrotropic. But coralloid roots are characteristic feature of cycas. Why, sir? In coralloid root, they have a symbiotic association of nostoc. And do remember, in Isola leaf, there is an association of anabina. Ames question over. Ames question over. Right? So, sir, what all we discussed today? First and the foremost, about pteridophytes, their classification, Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Pteropsida, Sphenopsida. Then we moved to Gymnosperms. In Gymnosperms, we discussed about very three things simple, that is Cycadales, Coniferales, Netales. Then we moved about Homosporous, Heterosporous, characteristic features, economic importance. And yes, I can't say ki yes, with nostoc, it has symbiotic association or not. Yes, it has. That's what I am telling you. Shubham, anywhere when you write blue-green algae, they have to have symbiotic only. Otherwise, there is no purpose. Alone, they cannot survive. They need a companion who can hold them so that they can go to the for nitrogen fixation to any other plants. That's the reason. Good question, man. I liked it. Shubham Bishnoi. Good. So with this, it's your, for all my beloved, loving passport drivers, users, it is your CPP time. Please do it, solve now only. And I will be solving tomorrow the toughest question. Tomorrow means next class when I am meeting you, tomorrow being Sunday. And I will be discussing one of the wrong questions, whatever you do. Sorry to use that wrong question. When I say wrong question, what you attempt wrong. Question is never wrong. Till then, take care of your good health. May God bless you. Shabba Khair, Shubh Ratri, and happy weekend. Thank you.